welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie and today we're taking a look at WarBonds. Now, things are a little bit different today. You'll notice I have the lovely Matthew with me.
Hello.
Matthew is going to teach me how to play and we're going to have a look through playing a first go or so at this one. So you'll have to excuse my ignorance as we learn what we're doing. But if you have any questions, be sure to pop those in the comments. Now, WarBonds itself is heading to Kickstarter, so if you watch through and think, hey, I need that game in my life, it will be available for you shortly and we will be popping a link in the description so that you can go and check that out. But without further ado, we're going to dive right in, let's get playing and let's see what this is all about. So, board is all set up for us. Thank you so much, Matthew. What is it we're doing? What are we going to be trying to do?
Perfect. So we are currently beholding the world of Vitoria. The object of the game is to either eliminate your opponent's warlord or to eliminate their house, their war camp.
Okay.
If either of these are destroyed, that person is then eliminated. This game goes up to 5 players, so in a multiplayer game, if you eliminate someone, you then get some of their stuff. But in our 1v1 game, it's just going to be the moment that one of us loses, the game's over and the other person has won.
Brilliant. Now I'm playing as evil this time, right?
Yes, you are, I can't remember his entire name, Tangus?
Tangus the Unchained.
Ooh.
I want my full name to be used at all times. And I am Chaos Evil, which sounds super fun. So they've got different flavours, I guess?
There are 5 different warbands. Each one's, there's 2 good ones, 2 evil ones. There's a lawful one, a chaos one, and then there's a neutral one as well.
Amazing.
So each one affects what sort of, these wonderful array of different units that you can recruit. You'll be able to choose different ones based on who you are. So because you're evil, these 4 are not for you, but everything else is at your disposal should you wish to hire them.
Amazing. So it carries the theme throughout the whole way in terms of if you're good or bad. Great. And loads of choice over who I want to be this turn. Lots of replayability.
Yes.
Sounds like great fun.
And uniqueness as well. Every time you play, if you know someone starts favouring a certain strategy, you can then change it up and then move things around. So there's always a different way to, like, each time you play, there's different strategies available to you.
Wonderful. So I'm evil, you're good.
I am indeed.
I need to try and kill you or your camp, is the logic?
Yes, and I ideally need to do the same to you, but unfortunately you're better at killing people and camps than I am, so I'm going to need to get some support.
That's what I like to hear. Okay, so first startup then. What am I looking to do? I've got my first round. You're going to go first, actually. This makes more sense.
Indeed.
Talk me through.
We have here a young vagabond Goliath Alebreath, which is a hell of a mouthful. And we've set ourselves up at the beginning of the game so that we each have our camp and we have our unit there. To get more units, we need to do what's called a recruit action. And each turn you can always do a move and an action with someone.
Okay.
So I'm looking at my options right now. I don't think if I rush ahead and try to take the middle of the board that I can hold it. Because your guys are stronger than me, you fight harder than me, I'll just die. So I'm going to try and be a bit more defensive. So with my guy's turn, you see he's got a little shoe here that says 5. Yeah. Also, he's activating first. If you look here, there's a little initiative table. Each time you hire a unit, we'll be adding more units on this table. So it doesn't mean it's just my turn and Charlie's turn. It'll be whenever that unit is ready to go. Faster units will happen before slower units will. So it'll be like constant back and forth on who's doing what.
Brilliant.
So because my guy's literally the first one on the lost it, he's going to go first. So I'll pop that on there. He's got a movement of 5. So again, I'm not running over to here. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, because I do want him near this base here. You notice there I counted that out orthogonally, so you can't do diagonal movement in this game. You can only move up, down, left or right, and you basically ignore diagonals for most other things. So now he's done his move. I could move him further if I wanted to, but there's nothing I really want to grab. So I'm going to stop his movement there. I can't do any movement after this. That's my movement now done.
Yeah.
Instead I'm going to do the action. I'm going to recruit.
Okay.
So I've got all of these different options to choose from, apart from those 4 up there, because they're all evil. Good characters can't hire evil ones. It's in their contract. They just don't allow it. But I can hire myself. I'm going to get some mage support. So I'm going to hire some magical people here. You notice again, there's no cost, there's no resource for this because we're playing with the apprentice rules. I can just pick a unit. My only limit is my 6 counters here, so I can only have a maximum of 6 units and my warlord at any time.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab one of those sticks here, pop that down. I'm going to put down the admired Council of Mages. The names are just so you know who's who and where they go. Because he's just started the game this turn, he is now blocked. So he is not going to be doing any actions this turn, he's just getting their stuff together. They're grabbing all the mages so that they're ready to fight.
Cool.
And I'm going to pop him down on here, so when it does get to his turn next time, that's when they're going to react.
Okay. So you mentioned the apprentice rules.
Yep.
Do you want to just give us a quick overview of what that is in...
Perfect.
What we're talking about?
So there are 2 ways this game's been released. So we have the Master Set and the Apprentice Set. The Master Set's got a bunch of rules for things like taking over settlements, getting money, and also different like unique faction rules. They're also releasing this version here, which is if you want a war game that only takes you about 2 or 3 hours, as opposed to 4 to 5 hours, this one might be a bit more accessible to you as well. There's still loads of stuff to do here. Literally, all these units, all these different factions, lots of replayability just in this basic box arrangement. So it just depends on your game group. If you like war games but you don't want to sink days into it and you'd rather just sort of play hours, this might be the best sort of way to start playing and start rock and rolling.
Right, and a really good way to start playing as well.
Absolutely.
I can learn this bit and then I can go, right, now the apprentice
Now
has
we'll
become
upgrade.
the master.
Exactly
I will become
that.
the master. And look at that. Okay, cool. So, is that your turn?
So that is
set?
my guy's turn done. We then go along the track. So it would be the mages next, but unfortunately they're still sleepy. So we're going to move along. And now it's Tangus's go. So Tangus gets to cause some fuss.
Cool, so I can move him if I want to.
Yep.
But actually I want to get some units out. So am I worth keeping him where he is so that he can then pull units out of this deployee section?
Because of how you put yourself quite front ahead, because you want to get into a fight as soon as possible,
Yeah.
you can either choose to move your guy to here and start bringing units out right in the middle of the battle,
Yeah.
or if you're worried that they might get hurt, you can instead move him back a little bit and then bring units up that way. It's entirely
Okay.
whether you'd rather fight, get the fight to me, or if you want to try and hold back for a bit.
I want to get fighting. So
Perfect.
I can move 4.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
And that brings me close enough, right? To be
Exactly
able to...
that. You just have to be within range of 1 to be able to recruit, and that is range of 1 there.
Cool. So if I get recruiting, I love the idea of the vermin bombers
Mm-hmm.
because they get to fly. We'll come to the flying later, but it's very cool. If I bring out one of those, now I get the 2, right? So one of them goes on top of...
So you're going to get a disc and pop that under there to show that it's your dude.
There's my disc. And then one of
So
these...
that one goes there, and then this was the one, because it's got a little eye on it to let you know it's part of the initiative.
I goes on
That'll
the
go in the
initiative, and that is 5, so it goes
Pop there.
there. So it would go after your troops. Your
Exactly that. My
units. Go ahead.
Council of Mages there.
Cool.
For the purpose of the battle, again, we know that we've just summoned these, so we don't have to worry too much, but just so that when you're doing things in future, you can also have a little thing that shows that they're resting, so it shows you can't use them this turn yet. We're literally going to flip these immediately over again, but it's so that you know for the purposes of future when you're playing the game.
Nice. Okay, so I can't do anything else at the moment, can I? Because I've
Nope.
done my movement, I've summoned my people can't do anything, so then I'm just hands up, cool, your go.
All go. So we're going to keep going along, and as you see, we're now at the end of the units track, so we now get to the war camps. So these war camps, these are your base of operations. If they are destroyed, they will lose the game, but they can also move around and fight as well.
Cool.
And the most important thing they can do is, if they don't move around, if they stay exactly where they are, you can do a full turn action, which means bringing more dudes in. So we're going to bring more dudes in. So because I'm going to go first, I'm going to bring in these phalanxes. So the mages are good for ranged combat, and they can fire some spells. The phalanxes are good for defense, and they can keep people protected.
Okay.
And they can also stop you from being able to move in certain areas as well. So they can't stop flyers, but they can stop pretty much everything else.
Nice. I
So
just realised I've not taken my little card for
that's all
my
right.
little vermin, and he was jesting.
Yeah.
So I need to
You'll notice so there is 4 cards for each one. In the apprentice rules, each of these cards are identical. The name differences is purely so that you know whose unit is whose on the battlefield. You should also be able to tell that from the disc, but again, they want to make sure everything is covered as much as possible. And these guys are quite slow, so they're going to go after your dude gets to play.
To be fair, I can imagine when you've got like loads of armies out, or you're playing this with more than just 2,
Yeah.
having a way to differentiate. I know this one does this one is going to make life
Exactly that.
easier. Okay.
So that is my bit there. So you now get to do the same thing. So you can now recruit from your camp if you would like.
Cool. Is there any benefit to, like, should I be thinking, right, I need to get more vermin out, or should I be thinking, let's diversify my...
Honestly, I don't know.
We will find
The
out.
wonderful thing with this game is that because there's so much options variety, there are different strategies and different things you can take.
Bro,
my
up to me.
my early moves have been based on the book. Thankfully, recommends some like early options for what stuff you can play. It recommends the next one for you to pick up is the archers, just because they'll be able to support your warlord and fire some volleys of arrows at the enemy as well.
That sounds good enough reason for me. So, my archers are
Up there, I believe.
hidden away. Okay. And is there any limit to how many different types of units I can get?
So it's literally whatever's available is what you can have. So there's only 4 of each card there. So if you're playing a 5-player game and the first 4 players all pick the same character, bad luck, you're not going to get to play with that one. But units will come and go as they get defeated and they get recalled and things like that as well. So there's all sorts of times when they can show up again. When you pop that down, you can put them anywhere in the 4 adjacent ones. So if you want to have it so that they're right, ready to back up your warlord, you can pop them right there.
Yes, because there was a cool mechanic with roads, right? If it's
Exactly
roads,
that.
it takes less movement because you're walking on an already
Because they
established
can
road.
zoom down the road a little bit faster as well. So you can
Nice.
have them so that he can move ahead and they can be right ready to back him up, especially because the archers move slower.
Great. Okay.
So we have now done that action there, so we're now going to go all the way to the bottom. You'll see here it also says repair and collect. So if there was any loyalty here, we could collect this and give it to people. If our ward camps are taking any damage, we could then heal them up. Thankfully, it's only the first turn of the game, so we're instead going to move up to this next step here. So we're going to move the dragon.
Oh, dragon.
So there is a dragon. When the dragon shows up, the game ends. So if we get that far, that'll be impressive, but by and large, the dragon just ensures that the game keeps going and it keeps things active.
Okay.
So the first thing it's going to do is do a war speech.
War speech.
So the dragon is marching, the units are marching, everyone is starting to get ready to fight. When you do the war speech action, you can have a choice of two. You can either make sure that your leader has more leadership.
Right.
If you give your warlord leadership, you can use this to win later tests and challenges to try and sway the opinions of the people.
Right.
Alternatively, you can instead use your war speech in order to bring up your troops.
Okay.
This gives the troops loyalty. Troops who are loyal will stay on the battlefield for longer. And if a troop ever has 0 loyalty and then gets forced to lose more loyalty, they can literally retreat or recall and they decide, it's not worth fighting for you, I'm going to go.
Fair. Okay.
So I want my troops to stick around as much as I can. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use my rousing war speech to give them both 1 loyalty, which I'll pop on their cards there, just so that we're not stacking loads and loads of counters up on one person.
That's a good plan. Okay.
And now you get to do the same option. So you can either give yourself 1 leadership or give all your troops loyalty.
I think I'm going to do loyalty.
Yep.
We'll start there, and then we'll maybe diversify as we go through, see what works out. Cool.
Lovely stuff. So should have been moving this along because that would make things easier because let's just know what bit we're doing next. So the next part we're on is concede. Do you want to concede the game?
No.
No, I'm good as well.
I'll fight you.
But it's important to know that if you're playing the game, especially in multiplayer, you can only give up at this point. So it means someone doesn't give up halfway through a turn and completely throw off everyone else's game.
Yeah.
There's a real order and structure things. A lot of war games will do this sort of thing as well. So the next thing on the option is exchange leadership. If you've got 3 loyalties, you can cash these in for 1 leadership. And again, leadership is a majorly useful resource. Gives your warlord special powers. It helps you gain more powers and abilities later on in the game. So it's something you want to use if you can. But also you don't want to risk dropping too much loyalty off a character because then it could mean that they run away.
Right.
You'd much rather have the unit out than lose them entirely just because they gave your war boss a pat on the back.
Got it. Okay.
So we're going to move along all the way to end of round effects. So you'll notice each of these little areas here has a little symbol that says 1 loyalty on it.
Yeah.
Because these areas are just nice and lovely, anyone who gets to sit in those, they feel better about themselves. So they're going to get 1 loyalty counter.
Hey.
So I get loyalty for my mages, and you get a loyalty for your vermin bombers.
So hypothetically, if I'd have the one that I deployed out here, if I'd have put that here instead, because it was next to,
Has to be inside it.
has to be into. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. That
So
makes
these
sense.
ones,
Okay.
they're harder to get into, but they're also better if you're in them, sort of thing. So it's
I
like
see.
when you play the game, there's lots of these scattered around the board, and you always want to control as many of them as you can.
Okay.
So currently you're winning because you've got 2 of these under your control, because you can put more stuff here and more stuff there later
Right.
on. At the minute, I'm sort of limited to what I've got, so I'm going to try and hold up as best I can.
Okay, but ultimately, I'm trying to get rid of this and or your guy, right?
Yeah, exactly
So
that.
although I'm holding strong at the moment, end game is
You need to fight.
Get fighting. Cool.
So last thing we're going to do is the flip and enable. So all those units that we put out, we're now going to flip them over. So they're now ready to fight next turn. So that should be, all of them are now showing with none of the little waiting symbols. We'll flip these guys over on the board as well.
Whew.
So they are now all signified as ready to fight and ready to go.
Cool.
And that's the end of the round. So we now start a new round. This goes back to the top, and we're going to start again at Dahlia's turn in a moment. So that was the first round of play.
Real. One thing I will just highlight as well is this is an early copy of the game, so it might be that a couple of things maybe change or might be a little bit more polished or things like that by the time it gets to your table if you choose to back. But for now, it's more than enough to get us playing. So it is your turn. What are you going to do?
So I'm a little worried now because you've got fairly loyal troops and you're going to be getting more of them.
Yeah, I do.
So I'm going to see if I can find a way to defend and do stuff. So now I'm going to use, look at my little character. Vagabond has a power called Meditation, which lets him get more powers and abilities. His meditation is what's called a full turn, so he cannot move, he cannot do anything, he has to stay there and meditate. And by doing that, he's going to gain 1 loyalty. And when he enters meditation, ally units within range, so that is right near to him basically,
Yeah.
also gain 1 loyalty if they take an action. So I can use this in order to basically pick up all my forces and make them more loyal, more protected and powerful.
Right.
So I'm going to try and just literally hold here as best I can, empower my units up, and get ready to embrace the horde that's coming my way. So that is Doria's turn. So he is literally going to do his whole action. He's going to meditate. So that is my first leadership. I'll pop onto him there. And that is all of his turns. So we will now go down the track and we'll see that your archers are now next. So your archers will get to move and then we'll get to do an action.
So they can move. So I'm planning to pull out quite a few troops as much as possible.
Yeah.
So if I want to move them all sort of like mostly together, I want to kind of keep everything around. So I haven't got to use all of my movement, have I, to go anywhere? Okay, so archers first. So these guys. How does the road movement work?
So each unit gets a free movement or free action on their turns. You can have up to 3 whenever actions, and one of them is you can move on one road for free. So that would be a free movement there.
Yeah.
Can't do the same action twice, so you can't just keep going on the entirety of the road, otherwise the game will be over very quickly. But you do get at least 1 free movement there, and then you can make your additional free movements.
Okay.
Or in certain circumstances, you could be like, well, I'm going to shift here, fight, and then I'm going to move, because if you use that road movement to sort of give yourself a little bit of a head start.
Okay.
So being able to control these roads on the map here, even though they're weird shapes, they're designed to make sure that combat keeps tense and keeps people focused.
And we keep moving forward. Okay, cool. I think... So I've got 3, but I've got my 1 free. So if I do...
Free movement
Free
there.
movement, and then I do 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
I think we'll stick with that there. Cool.
And that means you can then support up with targets and stuff like that in a moment.
That's what I'm thinking. I can shuffle them all in.
Yep.
Cool. So, what next?
So now would be the choice for actions. I don't know the same particular actions they can do on their turn in terms of just holding stuff or doing bits and pieces. I believe they are pretty much done there.
Yep, not useful at this point. They will be when I'm closer to stuff.
Not every time you can do actions and stuff. Sometimes it's just good to have that ready to go.
Cool. Okey-doke. Next one?
Next one along. So next will be my mages.
Your mages.
So the mages are currently in the forest. I want to get them out of there definitely because I want them to be able to support and do more stuff.
Yeah.
I also want to make space for that, so that way next turn I can do more. I can get more people in. So what I think I'm actually going to do in this regard there is units can recruit other units. So I'm going to have them move 1. So they're nearby, but they're not right in the fight, and hopefully they'll be able to like hide behind and fire volleys of spells overhead.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have them recruit my next unit in. So this time I'm going to grab myself some Valkyries. So the Valkyries are a flying unit. So they start the game walking on the ground. But much like your Vermin Bombers, I can choose to make them fly, which means they'll be able to support from fighting overhead. So it gives me a lot of ways to defend and bits and pieces as well. So I'll pop them there, and then I'll pop that on the track. They're quite slow, but they will be ready to fight soon.
Wonderful.
And that is my mage's turn. So next will be the Vermin Bombers.
So, that is these guys. So I want to move these out of here because I want to summon more.
Yeah.
So.
And you could also do a similar thing where because they move so quickly, you can move them back to here and then summon units out from the other forest as well because you've got more access control. So you could end your turn with 3 units on the field.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yes, I could. So if I pull that down to here as all my movement, they can summon, and then also Tangus can summon next time. Oh, nice. Okay, this is feeding nicely into my plan. Okay, so I will put out some. Let's have some witches.
That sounds strong.
I like begotten witches. They sound wonderful.
Especially because they can fly ahead as well, so they can jump back into the fray just as quickly as the other ones could.
Even better. So this is a 4 in the order, so we'll put that down there. And then that's my jesting guys done, my vermin. So next up we then have your angels.
Yep,
your
so
angels came out this one.
They came out this turn. They've got the little block symbol on them, so because they came out, that means we don't use them yet. But next time they would happen before any of the other troops would.
Cool.
So we instead move on to Tangus.
Tangus, yeah. So I get to summon more.
Yep.
I am going to go for the diversify style, I think, because it makes sense to have a good play.
Oh no.
So, these are my healers, right?
Yeah, so the Bleeding Horrors are... They gain more supplies when people die, don't worry about it. And they can then use that supply to heal people. Again, don't worry about it. Specifically, they can only ever heal warlords. So troops and things like that, you have to... is it resupply? Or you have to get more troops by another way.
Okay. I do like that a lot of this with like sort of the early rules is...
Restock.
Get the basics.
Yeah.
And then once you've got the basics, here's the cool stuff you can do on top. because otherwise I think there's so much to it that makes it very, very clever and very like, what's the term? Sort of like really nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Let's get down and do cool stuff, but without being overwhelming.
A big thing of this that other strategy games don't have, like, this is no randomness. Like, you can see there's some dice and stuff on the board here. These are never rolled. These are only ever used to track the health on characters as well. So everything you do is perfect information, perfect strategy for it. It's purely about what you can do and what you can react to what your opponent's doing as best you can and see what works.
Amazing. Cool. So I'm happy they're out.
Mhm.
I'm not going to move Tangus, I don't think, because I don't really think I need to.
Fair.
So I'll just let him chill there. We'll get a couple more things out, and then I'm not going to tell you my strategy.
That's fair.
I'm going to get more things out, but that's
That's all you need to know.
That's all I'm telling you.
Balance.
So the garish is on there. I've got my different ones. Now that, I think, ends my turn.
So that ends Tangus' turn. Yep. Now it's going to follow on to, even though these are the same initiative, because he was there first, he gets to go first. So now I'm going to move my phalanxes. And yeah, I'm worried that there's a lot of units coming my way. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, put them right in front of Goldiar, so that way he's got a bit of defense as well.
Okay.
Because whilst your characters care about your warlord fighting, they get more loyal if they see him fight. My characters who are lawful get more if they help defend other people.
Okay.
So if they're used to block or if they attack enemies whilst the hero's nearby, they can become more loyal.
So potentially in future I will attack your bandit, your phalanx. How much health do they have? How do I know?
So each of the health insight is tracked on here. So in this case, my phalanx card has 11, so there are 11 units there. Each time they get hit, you lose a unit, and these can't just be healed back because the guy's dead. You need to find a way to restock them or resupply them so that they have more people there to like pick up arms and fight again.
Right. Cool. Okey-doke. So, I'm done. You're done.
Yep.
Then we start our
everything's
dragon
done.
track.
So we're going to start our little dragon track again. So I really should be using this tracker marker there because it makes things a lot easier.
Ah.
So first thing we need to do is the war camps. So I'm going to again summon more units in because I need some more support. And I think I need more defences because there's a lot of units coming my way. So rather than going for more aggressive stuff, I'm going to grab another phalanx. I'm going to go for durable, hoping that that's then a good sign that they actually live. We can only hope. Again, I can pop this down.
We can hope not. That's what we can
Please. No, they need to be lives. And pop them down there. And you'll then get to do the same thing with your war camp. So if you want to recruit another unit, you may.
Yeah, I do. Right, what do I want to do though?
So whilst Charlie's picking the choices there, you'll notice I've only got 2 discs left. So at any time you can only have up to 6 units and one war boss, one warlord. So it's very important when you're picking your options which units you can keep. You can also choose on a turn if you find a unit's not helping you out very much anymore, or you want something more aggressive, you can recall them, which means they voluntarily go back home. They might give some of their loyalty to other people, and then you can bring more units in to sort of deal with the new situation. So you're never sort of locked into a strategy. If you can control one of these wild terrain areas here, you notice your opponent's got lots of horsemen, you can maybe send some troops back in order to grab some spears or grab some other bits and pieces to help defend you. And what have you grabbed? Is that zombies?
That's little anarchists.
Oh, little anarchists. Oh, okay. So the little anarchists sabotage bases and are sneaky. Oh no. I'm glad I've got phalanxes now, because at least then they can maybe stop them from moving. Oh dear.
Now I'm conscious though, so I've got these out and I feel very, very smug that I've got this many out. However, I've only got one little token left, so once I'm at that peak in this version of the rules, that's all I can have, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my last one needs to be chosen carefully.
And then maybe start losing them by having them be in fighting and just start throwing them towards the enemy.
That's a good point, because if they then die for any reason...
Then yeah, there's a little part in the game where tokens go to the graveyard and they slowly come back to you. So if you lose 2 or 3 units in one turn, you only ever get 1 disc back at a time. So it's...
Oh, that's clever.
You want to make sure that if you are only using 1 unit, or if you can, recall them, because then you get the disc back immediately.
Right.
Because there's at least, as long as there's like 1 person left who can go home, then it's fine. Whereas if you lose everyone, you lose the disc as well. So that can be a major blow if you've not planned it properly or not planned the treasury there.
Clever. Okie doke, cool.
And just so you know, with this one, he can't sit on there, so he has to go in one of these spaces when he comes in.
Yes, of course, sorry.
No worries. Lovely stuff. So, now we're done a dragon. So we're going to move our dragon along. So now we can persuade. So if either of us had 2 leadership and we were our war lords were in range, they can try and convince the other person to go home. They can literally spend time to be like, it's not worth the fight. So, for example, if I'd had Goya right next to the archers, he could have spent his 1 leadership to be like, leave. Maybe go. And they'll be like, you know what, it's not a bad idea, and they'll lose some loyalty. So it's a good way. You can literally make troops leave the battlefield because they decide they don't want to fight anymore.
Ooh, okay.
There is one of the other warlords that we're not playing with. She literally cares about constantly trying to like demoralize the opponents and reduce their loyalty. So every time an opponent leaves, they gain loyalty for all their factions. So they manage to make someone go home by talking to them.
That sounds fun.
But fortunately, neither of us have enough to be able to do that there. So we are going to skip that bit. I assume neither of us are conceding.
No.
They're good.
Not even 40 yet.
And I don't think either of us want to cash in our leadership yet, so I think we will pass on
any.
that. You've got, so you want, cash in the loyalty for leadership. I think you want to keep those.
Yes, I do.
So they don't run away. So now we're just going to do the end of turn. So anyone who's in a wild territory gets 1 loyalty. So I only get 1 for my Valkyries, but you will be getting 2, because you get 1 for them and 1 for them.
1 for them, 1 for them. Amazing. So remind me, if I wanted... Oh, no, I'm not putting them on there, am I? I'm putting them on here to make it a little bit clearer. Yeah. So it was my witches and my bleeding horrors.
I don't think you dropped the witch card.
No, it wasn't witches. It was the anarchists, wasn't it?
No, that's the witches. I just think you didn't drop the witch card.
I the card. Helpful. So I have the...
Aridas?
Aridas. There it is. So we'll pop that on there and put that there. So if I wanted to get more loyalty for... So my little anarchists, for example, I've got no loyalty at the moment. Mm-hmm. What would be my best way of getting loyalty for them? So
good and evil affects what type of troops you can recruit.
Yeah.
Lawful and chaos then is how people get more loyalty. So chaos troops love it when they see people fight, specifically when they see the warlords fight.
Right.
Because it means we can follow that person, they're ready to get mucked in. So every time they see a warlord fight and they're within range, you'll notice each one has their little range there. So this is a range of 3. So as long as you can count 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Currently these guys are all in range.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, but none of these troops are at the minute.
Okay.
But if they see your warlord fight, they gain 1 loyalty. So you're incentivized if you're playing a chaos army, keep fighting, keep fighting.
Yeah.
Whereas with my guys, they're lawful. They care about honor and protecting people. So every time they attack a unit within range of the leader, they gain a loyalty instead. So it's a little bit easier for these guys to gain loyalty because they can get it as long as they're defending someone or as long as they're somewhat near their leader. But your guys will get it quite rapidly once you start attacking as well. So it's kind of like a touch and go in terms of the power there.
Nice.
So I believe that is all our bits and pieces there. So we're just going to start flipping our tokens over so that they're ready to go for the next round. I think that's everything flipped. Then we've got to flip these over as well. Flipper-your and flipper-your.
I put them out the wrong way anyway, so we're
Doesn't matter. We're all good at that point. And it's starting a new round again. So now, because we have an end of turn ability, I believe. That's what I could have done with the phalanxes. Make sure you remember your actions and powers, because I could have given these guys extra loyalty because they didn't do any fighting this turn.
Oh no, what a shame, we forgot. Oh no, Matthew, if only you'd thought of it.
But those are things to watch out for in the game as well. There's lots of different abilities. Each of these different characters interacts differently and has their own unique powers. So trying to keep everything in mind is an important way to win. Don't do what I just did and forget what your own powers and units do.
I feel like I'm immediately
immediately start looking at the cards.
Just double check, like
what do all my things do?
Oh no, I dropped a loyalty. That's
no.
Don't abandon me, my friend.
Right, so I definitely need some more leadership. So I know that coming up now, there's going to be a thing called Influence the Public. This gives me an opportunity to get lots of loyalty for my troops and also get me some game-winning war tokens.
Right.
But I can only do that if he's not hurt.
Oh.
So I think I'm going to go for my strategy again. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to remember this time to gain more loyalty. So I have him meditate again. So that gives me another loyalty. So at the minute, I know I've got 2 leadership to your 0 leadership.
Okay.
So the chances are good that I will win this fight, provided you don't kill enough stuff or cause enough problems. So it's my job to try and keep everyone defended as best I can this next turn. So he's going to do that, and now anytime anyone troop is near him, within range, I can have that action to gain loyalty, because they're going to stay, meditate, and they're going to chill out. As long as I remember to do it this time.
In fairness, my movement ability, although I've got like my big movers on this side and my short movers here, I still can't really get to you.
Not quite, thankfully.
In this turn, so it's not too bad for you. Oh, not that I want that to be the case. I want to be able to be.
But I think they're definitely going on the march.
Yes, they will shortly be moving because we've got stuff to do.
So, speaking of which, we're now going to move to the archer. So the archer gets the first option to do things.
So my archers are here. So
Yep.
I've only got 3. 1, 2, 3. But I can't attack orthogonally, can I?
So you, whenever you treat like diagonal things like that, you count it as a range of 2. Because the idea is you would go 1, 2. So in this case, your archers have, I believe, a range of 2 with their archer power. So it's over here. True shot during your turn. Oh no, there's bow. Sorry. So the bow is literally a ranged attack of 2.
Okay, so I
they
could
can deal
be
physical
on
damage.
that
So they can be on that
diagonal
diagonal and
because they
shoot.
could do that way. Okay, so I could do 1, 2, 3, and then I could choose to shoot your phalanxes.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So in this game, no randomization as well. So we look at what we have here. So this says deals physical damage.
Yep.
+1 against flying units.
Okay.
So we're not attacking a flying unit, we're attacking a normal unit. So that means it will do 3 damage.
Cool.
I will then look at my phalanx unit there. Do they have any resistance? They do have a resistance to physical damage. So that means they take 1 less. So I can have it so they only take 2. Is there anything else I can do in order to defend? Doesn't look like it, so I think that's the best I can do there, or the best that can be done there. So we're then going to take one of these dice. Because you've done 2 damage to me, I'm going to pop down a 2 on here. So I now have 9 phalanxes on this one remaining.
Yeah.
Because they've lost at least 1 unit, they are now no longer at full strength. So I lose 1 attack whenever they fight now.
Okay.
Because they've been in any way damaged. So in any way that they're hurt, they just can't do any more. They can't attack at full power.
If they were going to hurt me, instead of it being 3 damage, it's 2 damage.
Exactly that.
Got ya. Okay. So that's then my turn ended, right? I've done my movement and I've done an action, therefore.
That's there done. So we're now going to go to the next one. The next one is going to be the mages. So because you've used your archers so close to me, I'm going to try and punish them for that by getting rid of them if at all possible.
Rude.
So, how can I do this to make sure they're in range? I think what I'm going to do is, thankfully friendly units can move through each other.
Right.
So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 movement there. And then because they have a range of 2, they are now in range of your archers there. So rather than how archers will have an amount of supply to be able to do some abilities, my mages to do anything basically have to spend supply resources.
Okay.
So they start with 6. It's got the little number in the bottom corner that says 6.
Aha, I see those. And
I'm going to spend 1 of these in order to use a spell book, and it's going to cast a magical spell onto the archers. So this does damage of 3. It's +1 if it was against elemental creatures because they're weaker to magic.
Right.
These guys aren't.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a quick look at your archers. It doesn't look like you have any resistances to anything. So for sake of fun, they're going to throw fireballs.
Oh.
Just because it doesn't really matter. It could be ice balls or acid balls if I wanted it to be in this case.
They'll take it
Either way.
Yeah, cool.
So that's 3 there. They've no special defences, no special attacks for it. They're taking 3 damage.
Okay.
So you now need to put a 3 on your archers to show that 3 of them are dead. Just been set on fire.
No.
Only 6 left. Let's see if I can get through the rest. And that is their turn, so I'm going to now move to the witches.
That's me.
There's you.
There's me. Okay, right. So we're going to get moving. Can my witches fly?
Yes.
How do I make them fly?
So, these handy dandy fly markers, for 1 action, or 1 movement, sorry, they fly.
Amazing. So I've still got 4 movement left.
So you still got 4 movement left. And they can also, if they're on like roads, things like that, they can fly for free or land for free.
I can move through friendly units.
You can move over them. You just fly over the top.
Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Free movement?
Yep.
Yeah.
Free movement to land,
Oh.
so they can land there, I believe.
Yeah, I don't want to land though. So if I just do my 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So they're ready to fight.
1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go over here.
Lovely stuff.
I love it when stuff comes out of the board. Like we're not just in our flat space. We're flying.
Especially as well, because in this case you can literally have it, because the units can't share a same space as someone. But if they're flying, one unit can be on top of the other one. So you can have them literally giving support.
space.
Yeah, they can give support by flying from overhead, which is rad.
Fun.
Especially because I believe your witches, their attacks are all ranged.
Yeah.
So they do literally magical bombardment from the skies.
Love it. Sorry. Start reading. Right. So, they're done.
Yep.
Next one.
Next one, your vermin.
Vermin, which is
They're over
these
there.
guys.
So they also have the power of flight if you wanted to as well.
let's get him flying.
Yeah.
Let's, like...
Everything take to the skies.
Take to the sky! Right, so then I've got 6 movements, so I've used 1 to come up into the sky, so I'm going to move 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect.
No harm in going over here. Ooh. There we go. Next one.
Next one. Now move to the rioting. Oh, it's just you again.
Oh no, what
this
a
will
shame.
happen a lot.
It's me. So we are 5 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I could 6 free movement.
Yep.
Because we're on a road, so we get 1 extra. Cool. Yep.
So we've just done the move that Atlantis have taken to the skies.
Yep.
It's now my turn to act on the Valkyries.
Oh.
So, given you guys have got so much stuff in the sky, I feel like I might need some sky defense as well.
No, you don't.
No,
you don't.
I'm
You
just
stay down there.
I'm gonna just do a little jumpy jump. So they're gonna go 1, 2, 3. What range is the Valkyries? They have a range of 2.
You don't want to do that.
I don't know if I want to shoot the archers, but I do want to have them somewhere safe.
No.
So I think I'm just going to put them 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's it. So that way they can do some defensive stuff later on as you guys move some stuff in.
Okay.
So because they're still within range of him, so
Yep.
his range is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Instead I'm going to have their action to be that meditate, so they're going to gain loyalty.
Ooh.
So now they've got 2 loyalty on them, which should keep them a little bit in check as well.
Okay.
That is their action done, so now it's time for your warlord before my phalanxes act.
Right. If I... So I want to summon next turn, so remind me again, because I've got the Garish in there at the minute. I need to move the Garish out,
As long as there is one of your allied units adjacent to it, so as long as the Garish end their turn they're all there.
Cool.
Or even there.
I was going to say, my Jesting is already there, so if my...
I don't know if it counts because they're flying. I think they have to be a ground unit.
Okay,
I'm not
cool.
entirely sure on that
so
one.
we'll go with Garish then, or...
Either way, you want them near the back anyway, because you want them healing, and you want them like just behind your warlord so that he can get defending.
Plan. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4... Where do I want to go? Oh, I could 5 in that case. Is there any benefit to me bashing them? So he's not ranged, right?
No, he's close combat, but...
So he has to be close combat. So...
Right now, because your chaotic units are so far away, they won't gain loyalty, but you will be able to do some more damage to the banded units, who's already taken 2.
So if he was to attack, he would do... So if he doesn't act, it does 1 slashy damage?
So he does physical damage, yep, and because he's got a strength of 5, he does that 5 times.
Ah,
If he was fighting a warlord, he does increased damage towards like health units, so he would do 10 damage instead.
Okay, so if I put him near your bandit, I could get rid of your bandit, is what I'm thinking.
You could definitely put another, like, sink a load of them out, because he can go tear through a bunch of their units. Because they'll have 9 units remaining at the minute. If he does 5 damage, they have resistance to that, so they will reduce it by 1, but he's still going to kill 4 of them.
Okay.
So they're still going to be in trouble.
Ooh, decisions. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I can use
Free
the road.
movement, yeah.
Stuff it. Let's get attacking.
Draws up. So he's going to fight with his axes. So he does 5 physical damage. Each hit does 2, but because they're all units, it only takes 1 to kill a unit. So even if he's just completely bludgeoning them to death, it doesn't matter, we're ripping them apart with his axes.
Yeah.
They're still going to only lose 5 guys.
Okay.
They have resistance to that, so they're going to take 1 hit less.
Yeah.
And there's no other defences heading their way, so they're just going to take 4. So now 6 of them have gone, so there's only 5 guys left there now.
Ha-ha.
So that's a bit of a problem.
For you.
Especially because I was going to use them to move up to try and deal with those archers.
Cool. So, he's done.
He's done. So now it's my turn, so there's the bandit. So I might have them return fire, or I could have them move and attack the archers. Actually, that might actually be a better idea for me, to try and get rid of those archers. Because I can't kill this guy yet, but I could actually do some damage to them. So if they're doing 2, and then these guys are going next, and they'll be doing 3. How much health does the archers have left? 9, so they've got 6 left. So I still need to find a way to do 1 more to them, which I can't do right now. Definitely should use the Valkyries to attack them as well. Maybe we'll be able to defend and just do a little bit of damage then. Let's try that. So I'm going to keep the bandit there so that it keeps my warlord protected.
Right.
So instead of, I'm not going to have them move, I'm just having to do that action to gain loyalty because of Aelbreth, Goyol's Aelbreth's ability. So he's taking the gain 1 action to gain 1 loyalty.
Right.
Then the next one to move on will be the durable phalanx, and they will move up here.
Okay.
And these ones will do some damage to your archers as they're at full strength.
Ooh, his boo.
So they attack for 3. So that's 3 damage to them. Because they're within range of Goya, they're also going to gain... Going to gain leadership anyway by attacking. Remember how lawful characters work, remember, kids. Oh well. So they will gain a lot there. I know, that's the second mistake I've made. It's almost as if there's loads of stuff to keep in your mind, and I'm not the best when it comes to strategy games. I love them, I just suck at them.
Which is good for me.
Yeah,
Good for me.
just the advantage. But that's now the archers have only got 3 units left, so next turn I should be able to finish them off.
Okay.
So I'm feeling quite confident on that front there. And I believe that's they're all done, so now it's just the Garish left.
The Garish. Right, so I want those to be behind my war guy.
Yeah.
So, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
I can't use a deploy anymore because I'm too far away.
Yeah.
But at the end, I will be able to pull one out of
The camp
my
there,
camp,
exactly that.
So I'm okay-ish for now.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
your warlord hasn't taken any damage yet, so they can't use their healing ability. Which is another reason why I didn't want to attack with them at the moment, because you would not only would they heal up, but they'd also gain loyalty for doing that, and I don't want that to happen.
Okay, so that's Garish done.
Yep. So I believe we're now out. So we're going to the war camps again. So I'm going to recruit myself some clerics, because clerics let me combine 2 units. So assuming those phalanxes live, they can combine together with these guys and then all become one happy unit again.
Ooh.
Which might help. I'll pop that there. So they should be able to get just within range to be able to do that. And then this one goes on the track. Just there. So they've really got to last a little bit of a while, but they can do it. I believe in them. I have faith.
Nah. They're gone. Get them out of here.
I'm sure they'll be
Get
fine.
them gone. Get them.
Now that I've got my clerics there ready to go, it's now your turn, so you will now also get to recruit, and you'll get to recruit your last unit.
I want some crows.
Get some
I know I
crows.
can get some crows. We talked about crows. We're gonna talk about
Domesticated
how it works.
Provus.
But specifically, right, there's one that's murder.
Yeah, I figured you would. You want the murder of crows.
Murder.
There's a murder of crows.
It feels thematically appropriate.
Because they can steal things. Yeah. So all my mages have got all their magical accoutrements and gems, and the crows can be like, oh, shiny, and just take it all.
Shiny.
I should rather they didn't.
There.
So they have to go anywhere in these 4. So.
I'm going to put them there.
Because then you can pop them on the road and they can fly up for free.
Ooh!
And then you can fly in the air for 7. So
Yes.
basically,
Like I planned it.
roads are like fantasy airstrips. They just make it easier for takeoffs and landings
Amazing.
for birds and stuff.
Okay, cool. That's that one's set. That's on there.
Well done there. So it's time for Dragon.
Dragon!
So the Dragon is now going to influence the people. So we now get to the secret bid. This is why I've been banking so much stuff with Vagabond.
Oh.
So we both have to take all of our leadership, put it secretly in our hands. And now we get to make a bid. And the highest bid has to spend all that leadership, but then wins this vote. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Yeah, right. So he's going to cash in that leadership. So what this means is, first of all, I get 2 of these war tokens. So these little war tokens here are another way to win the game. I'm going to put these next to my camp. If I get 3 of these, my camp levels up. People have funded it more, made it more powerful, so not only does it have more health, it also means I can recruit people at a further range, so I can drop them out a lot further,
Right.
a lot closer.
Yeah.
If I get to level 3, I win the game. Because the idea is the people are just right behind you, things like that. It's going to take a while for me to do that, because I would need to win the next 2 influence the public votes, and they are way away.
Okay.
So it's unlikely for me to win in the game in this scenario, but in a long-player game, especially when you're eliminating players, which can also give you war tokens, there's all sorts of ways that you can level up. So
Basically need to murder you before you get to that point.
absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I need to try and hold, you need to try and kill me.
Okay.
And ideally I can maybe try and kill you back now, but we'll see.
No.
The other thing you then do as well is whoever wins the vote gets to make a decree.
Okay.
So I can choose if I want all lawful characters to lose a law,
Right.
or all chaos characters to lose a law. I'm going to choose all your loyalty ones exactly there. So, what? Let's try to double check. I think it's +1, -1. Yes, it is. Cool. So I'm going to enforce order. So anyone that's got a lawful character is going to gain 1 loyalty. So that's a loyalty for not them, not them. So both my phalanxes will gain a loyalty, and my Valkyries will gain a loyalty. Then any of your chaos characters will then lose a loyalty. So I think they're okay. They're neutral evil, so they're good. So they lose 1 loyalty. He keeps theirs.
Nope.
They're good. These guys have lost their loyalty, so these guys are now
running away.
They are now recalling.
No.
And so were they?
Curse you, anarchists! Follow
Yep.
the rules.
So the writing one's there, so they will pop over here. So keep them there for the time being, because they may come back. We'll find out in a second.
I'll turn it around so that I know it's.
You see, so it's like,
in a
oh dear,
drama.
they're in trouble.
Yeah.
And the writing one's there.
It's very sadly holding my little token.
And then the Chaos Witches also lose 1 loyalty as well.
Oh no, no, my
It's just been a
witches.
harder time to be a witch now, because they're cracking down on witches and weird monster things.
Okay, cool.
So that was the Dragon event there. Again, these are big impactful. They happen 4 times during the game. So a large multiplayer game, you have a lot of people chasing for different loyalties and stuff like that. It's another way that you can win without having to necessarily outright kill everyone, especially when you've got 4 or 5 players to fight off. So we now get to exchange leadership. So if you had any loyalty across your characters, you can then turn these into a leadership point. I've got lots of loyalty across different characters here, so I am actually going to gently strip a little bit of everything. So I'm going to take 1 off each of my phalanxes and 1 off my Valkyries, just so I can then get that leadership token back again.
Okay.
Because in addition to be able to use it for votes and things, you can also use it for stuff like special powers and things, which my character has. So I definitely want to have a good stock of these as much as possible.
Okay. And my best way to get those... No, my best way to get loyalty is to attack your war guy.
Yeah.
And then from there, I can then convert those into leadership.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can gain leadership by literally fighting. Whenever you do a duel or things like that, you gain just straight leadership points. You don't have to worry about the little like upgrading them.
Okay.
But your chaos guys get more loyalty if they watch you fight. So if your warlord is fighting and they're within range, they're like, yeah, that's great, and then they all gain loyalty. So
Okay.
they're a good way to all get boosted up at once if you can crowd them all around
Yeah, I
him,
need to converge everything in really.
which
don't I?
is happening very soon.
I'm getting there. It's taking me a while, but I'm getting there.
Absolutely. So now end of turn effects, which I don't believe anyone else has. No, they are over there for the time being, because at the minute they didn't have any loyalty, so they might recall next turn.
I see. Sorry, I thought I just put the wrong thing round.
No, it's
I was
okay.
like, why is that one there? Obviously. Okay, cool.
So at the minute, unless they get you spend a leadership, they'll be going away at the end of the next turn. So you definitely need to find a way to get leadership to get them back again.
Okay, cool.
So end of turn effects. I don't think we have any other end of turn effects, because I know none of my troops do, none of your troops do. So that's the
Nope.
flippy and enably. So, oh, I put this in the wrong place. So I need to pop that there, and they're all good on that regard there. Flip that over, and flip that over, and a bird's flip over. Lovely stuff. So, we're starting a new round. It's a new day, and I think Dolly's had enough of meditating now. Now he's going to try and fight.
Bring it.
Bring it. So, I don't want to fight Tangus because he's better than me. It's important to know your limits. But I could absolutely demolish those archers of their remaining health if I can get close to them. So he's got 5 movement there. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, that's enough to put him in range. I'm then going to have him use his Dragon Fist ability. So it deals 7 physical damage to the unit.
That kills my archers.
Is that enough to get rid of them? So they are now
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
So when a character dies, these tokens stuff goes back, so they can be recruited again later by another player.
I'll put these ones back as well.
Yep. But your player token now goes to the graveyard, which is a bit at the bottom there. You only ever get 1 token back each turn. So if you lose them more than 1 unit in a turn, you can only slowly replenish back. So big losses are a massive pain for you to have to deal with.
Annoying that this happened this early on as well in the order.
It very much so. But I had to take that advantage as quickly as I could to stop you from being able to do that.
Makes sense.
So that is my guy's turn. So now it's time for your Murder of Crows.
Murder. Cool. Yeah, that's really weird. Normally I'm not in it for a little bit.
Yeah, but now the crows are ready to fight.
Yeah, the crows are going. Okay, so we'll use the one to
fly.
Ooh, I don't have any more flooping.
We'll buy more floop tokens. Game does come with a lot of tokens. We just only put so many out, and turns out you need more, especially when everyone's flooping. There's your floop.
Thank you.
Enjoy. It's also a handy little reference slide here for if you need to know how things work. We'll probably be using this slide in a bit because I feel like Tangus is going to start tossing a Barney. So it's time for crows.
Yes, I was worried about what I was going to do with my crows, but if I move them, because I have 7,
yep.
So I've got 1 to come up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
So I had 1 to fly, 6 to move. I'm coming over here, and because they're crows, I'm stealing your shiny stuff.
Okay.
So I'm taking your spears.
Yep. So I can no longer. Well, that hurts because they were definitely going to bombard your leader there, and now they have a gift. So next turn, they could gift that to you to give them resupply, which means they can. Hey guys, have some healing spears.
Yes.
It works.
Right. Can't do anything else.
That's a good turn there. That's a good
your
action.
turn.
So no. Oh yeah, it's my turn. Sorry, it is my mages. So, because they're worried about getting their stuff nicked, I think. Take music days magic attribute and it has its attacks to damage. Magic damage instead of nope, don't want to do that. Just going to shoot. So I'm going to move these 1, and they're going to shoot your leader because he's made himself in the open. So that's a very simple 3 damage. And does he have any resistances to anything? He does. So I'm going to have him do acid damage because he's resistance to fire and physical.
Gross.
So they lose one of these, but they have done 3 damage to him. He's now only got 29 health left. That's fine. This is a big boy.
Okay, so next one is...
it's the witches.
Witches! Oh, I was going the wrong way. There we go. So I'm going to move these ones to... I get 5 movement on them.
So they are in range. If they wanted to fly over my leader, they could shoot him for a bit and use flow some hexes down.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do I go on top of him?
You can if you want to, just to have the position, because it means I can't then put anything above him.
It also feels very like, haha, sucker, I've got the high ground.
Yeah.
Which we know doesn't work, but still.
No, it definitely works.
Right, so from there, I'm going to attack you.
With magic volley?
With magic volley. So
range of 2, so that's definitely within range.
Yeah.
They've not taken any damage yet, so they're doing 2 magical damage. If it was an elemental, they would do more. He is an elemental. Oh, I didn't know that. So he's taking 3 damage. So he'll then get hit for 3.
Cool.
So that's his first blood. So we've both our leaders are taking 3 damage now. The problem is mine's got a little bit of health. Mine's got 30 health, so it's got 1 more health than you at the minute. But probably could have done with not taking that damage if he could have hurt. Cool. So that's their move in their action. So now it's the vermin bombers. They're very close.
They're going to do what they're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's easy. We've got 6. Right.
Okay.
I'm going to bomb. Vermin bombers do the bombing. Woo!
So is this the normal bomb? Or is this...
There's the
cluster bomb
cluster bomb.
Oh, okay. So
I splash on stuff, and I get more of your stuff.
Okay. So you're going to shoot both my phalanxes with that, I take it then?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So I do that.
So they have resistance to fire damage, but it looks like you can choose to either do fire
or acid.
So I'm guessing you want to do acid damage?
I want to do acid damage.
That's fine. So both my phalanxes, because it's a splash attack, it can hit units within range. Can't hit these guys if they're flying.
Yeah.
And can hit both of these two. So because they've not been damaged yet, they're doing 3 splashing damage. So that's 3 damage to both of these two. So now this phalanx has only got 1 unit left, 2 units left, sorry. And my other one has now taken some damage.
Goody.
So if I can get the clerics in, I can save them, assuming there's anyone still left. But I have a horrible feeling there's not going to be. Okay, well, it's Angel's turn now. And
they've got no spears.
They have no holy spears, so if I want to use them... Well, they're no holy bolts, sorry. So if I want to use them for spears, I can fight in the air. I honestly don't know who to fight right now. I kind of want to just keep doing damage to your lord, because he's there.
Nah.
Can I kill him this time? I don't know if I can. I'm gonna risk it. Because if I can't, then it just means I'm giving up air control to you guys. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're gonna land for their final movement. So no more flying. And they're going to use their Thunder Spears. I think he's resistant to physical damage. So I'm going to have them do lightning damage against him.
Yeah.
So please take 3 lightning damage.
Gross.
Is your dude armoured?
Up to 6.
Does it say armoured on the top underneath his name?
Yes.
Then he takes some additional damage because the lightning hurts him for more.
How much additional damage?
So it'll be 1 more.
So we're on 7. Gross. Okay.
Lightning spears. Okay, now it's his turn.
This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Oh no.
I'm going to move him closer to you
Oh no.
because I can go underneath my little fly,
Yeah, you can.
fly people. And then, Matthew, I challenge you to a duel.
I wish you wouldn't.
Nyah.
So we're just going to have this out ready just so that you can follow the track along at home. So first thing is you're the first warlord. So because you started the duel and you have a special power when you start duels, you now gain 2 leadership.
Yeah.
So that's your 2 leadership there.
Not the way I thought I'd do leadership, but I've got it.
It works.
It works.
So does it still work? I'm going to risk it. I think I might still have this. Maybe not.
I like
Depends
when
on the
Matthew
sums.
pauses like this because it means that there's a good chance I'm going to win.
I don't know if I'm going to win. Okay, so first of all, so we're going to check for interruptions. I can't have them block.
So with the duel, I'm just going to fight
So
this guy back and forward.
You can fight this guy back and forward. These guys can jump in to defend. So it means that whatever the hit you would do, they would get hit instead. But I think that would kill them.
Probably.
So I don't necessarily want to do that right now because I want to be able to use them instead. So I think I'm not going to pay anything to attack or block. So do you want to just do your first attack?
Yes.
So because you have axes, they deal physical damage and +1 for every hit. So because you're fighting your warlord, you do 10 damage. So I'm going to add this 10 to that. That's 13 health taken. That's a big chunk of health.
Hell yeah.
So now I can check for interruptions. I'm not interrupted with my guys. You could... no, you can't interrupt with your ones, so I think they need physical to be able to interrupt. Units can only perform attack abilities, power strike, or other abilities that enhance their attacks and dual interruption. So theoretically, do you have anything with loyalty there? Your vermin bombers have loyalty, so they could also bomb my character if they wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? So you have to spend the loyalty to do it. And then that's another 3 damage to my dude. So, in fact, no, actually, no. This case, I am going to block it. So I'm going to use my phalanx there. So they're going to block. They're using their last loyalty. Oh, I definitely put those loyalties on the wrong characters. So they've used their last loyalty there to block that damage. So they've now taken 6.
Amazing.
Oh no, sorry, they've taken 5 because I think bombers only fire. Yeah.
Yes.
So they have 1 resistance to that. So they can put their shields up to defend him there. So no one else within range can be interrupting the combat. It's just mano a mano, warlord against warlord now. And my guy's going to fight back and hit you for 7.
Just for visual, should we move these
Yes, we'll move these away now. They have now done their duty.
We'll put them over here. So
It's just between these two now. The Battle of the Titans is witches and vermin fly over. So now the draw round begins again. Assuming you're not retreating from the duel?
I'm not retreating. No.
Okay.
I'm challenging you to a duel, Matthew, and I want this to be a duel to the death.
Okay.
Because I've looked at the thing, and I know technically we can decide to end the duel and come out of it. And
But if I do that, I might lose all my things because they might all run away. So, okay.
I think I can win this. So I challenge you.
So you're going to hit me for another...
Duel to the death.
So I get hit for another 10 damage.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, that's another dice to add. So I'm on 23, so I've only got 10 health remaining, so I die next turn.
That's what I like.
Oh, do I die next turn? Oh! No, I don't die next turn.
Don't do that noise.
I can do
I
that
don't like
noise.
that
Right,
noise.
so...
No.
Remember these? I've been picking up. I'm going to use the harden ability. So with this, I'm going to go resistance to damage types. I'm going to pick... Oh, it's this round. Okay. Oh, no, it's still this round. It's still fine. So, from now on, he's resistant to physical damage, which is what your die does. So he takes half damage from you. So he's rather doing 10 damage turn, you'll be doing 5 damage turn.
Matthew, I don't think we're friends anymore.
We've been work colleagues, it's fine. So, Glorio's going to strike back. He's going to hit for 7. Does this work?
We can still do that.
I don't think I've got enough health to live.
10,
We'll stick it through. We'll see what happens.
4.
We'll see if I have enough to carry on through. I'm not... Are you retreating?
No, No!
I won't retreat. Let's
It's a
carry
fight
on
to
then.
the death.
So you do 5 damage this time to me next time. I hit you for another 7.
Oh, you're going to make me do the maths in.
I don't think the maths is good for me.
And 1.
But if I retreat, you're just going to swarm through me anyway. Yeah, I think that's game over.
Did I do it?
I think you did it.
Did I do it?
I think that one strike from the witches, if I didn't have that one strike there, if I remembered it one turn early, no, literally just that strike from the witches, if that hadn't happened there, I'd have had enough health to just live past that and not through there.
I did it!
It's a game of minutiae. It's a good game. Well played.
Thank God for the crows. Yay!
Thank goodness for the crows, yeah.
Wow. I really enjoyed that. That was good fun.
That was a cool game.
That was, yeah. The strategy-wise, I think there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
Like, I've played it quite surface level, and I appreciate I've had a lot of support in learning it, but I could get very into this.
I'm literally seeing it now and being like, right, actually, instead of bringing the clerics in, if I'd brought another angels in or another archers in, I could have done more damage to you beforehand, and then I would have been entering the fight with a bit more like of an advantage there.
And then like unlimited armies, other people. I think there's so much scope.
Yeah.
It's quite fun. But yeah, I mean, we've done it. We did it. We played through, and I won. We're always going to remember this. So, if you enjoyed this,
the first of many.
All of them. If you enjoyed this, head over to the link in our description so that you can check out your own copy. It will be on Kickstarter, I believe, but crowdfunding very soon. And let us know your thoughts in the comments. Are you going to be playing? What do you reckon? What bands are you going to play as? What do you think? Rules and such are available online for you to take a look at and maybe pick which one you're going to do ahead of time. We'd love to hear from you. Pop all that in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye.